I had an old wise attorney once tell me, the highest power a court can grant an individual is fiduciary power over another person. And that anybody who abuses that power for their own benefit is the lowest scum of the earth. If you're having issues with the executor in your family estate, if you feel like you're being treated unfairly, and you can't find any lawyers who litigate estate cases, you might consider taking action yourself as a pro se litigant. It's your right. This is not legal advice, nor should it be construed as legal advice. This is a story about a personal situation that I dealt with and my experience using AI, helping solve a problem that everybody has the right to do. I spent 3 years trying to find an attorney in this state that did estate litigation. I finally just accepted that I wasn't going to get an attorney, and I turned to AI and had artificial intelligence help me draft the declaration, the motions, and open a judicial review case under the TEDRA laws. I am not an attorney. This is not legal advice. You should only go this route if you've exhausted every other avenue and found a dead end. You first have to start out by uploading all documentation you have relating to the estate, trust documents, wills, everything you have. After that upload, I gathered all communications, text messages, emails, everything. The same thing you would do with a real lawyer if you walked into their office. Give them all the data. Once it has everything, start asking it questions like it's a real lawyer. It has all the info. Ask about decisions that were made, how they went down, how you feel. You'll be surprised at the answers you get. I use ChatGPT mainly, and I found it to be pretty objective. If it didn't find anything or it thought I was barking up the wrong tree, it would tell me. It then came back with red flags, things that didn't look right, things that looked unusual. It detailed for me everything that it thought was highly unusual in dealing with an estate and a beneficiary like me in this particular case. It told me what it thought was wrong, what she did right. It was able to get the big picture on everything, all of our communications, at least everything we'd written down and communicated. Thank goodness she wanted to communicate via text back then. It was all there. It asked me if I would like it to draft specific documentation to open the TEDRA case in the district court that the executor lived in that I was dealing with. I wanted it to be easy for them. I had to open an account in the district court so I could open, start cases, and file documents. You as an individual, as a pro se litigant, have the same rights to file the same documents, the same motions as any lawyer does. It's not a specific requirement to be a lawyer. You just need to be prepared and able to speak in front of a judge. Being a fiduciary myself, I understand how a fiduciary is supposed to handle things when dealing with beneficiaries. It's a really important role. It's not taken lightly when a fiduciary takes advantage of a beneficiary or eliminates them or self-deals. So really all you have to do is get this before a judge, present the evidence, and ask for a forensic audit. If the judge orders a forensic audit, you're out of it. Then they just audit it and make sure nothing happened. All you have to do is present your evidence as to why you think there should be a forensic audit on the estate. But just remember this, if you're pushing for a frivolous forensic audit and that audit takes place and nothing happened, you could be on the hook to pay all their attorney's fees. So only consider this if you are absolutely sure something weird happened. If you can make it that far by opening the case, then it becomes a little more fun, because now's the part where people get to stop ignoring you. Once you're done uploading all your documents and you're given a case number, in my case, I sent it to a process server, which they then served it on my aunt, the executor of the family trust. Now they're required to respond. Now they know you're serious. In my case, my aunt lawyered up pretty quickly. The lawyer sent a package to me, said that all communications need to go through him now. So now you're doing what's called litigation, communicating with their lawyer about the circumstances. Now, don't get scared off. Every lawyer will start off very aggressive, tell you that they're going to charge you for attorney's fees, that it's all BS, that your claims are baseless, blah, 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 blah. That'll happen every time. At this point, you are in the driver's seat to ask whatever questions you want answered about what happened. Why grandma signed something that nobody knew she signed? What happened to assets? What happened to collectibles? Where's the audit? Where's the paperwork? This is your time to ask questions. And if you don't get the answers you're looking for, just move to the review. Present your findings to the judge. My aunt's lawyer was being very dismissive, making everything sound like I was just chasing a ghost. That's typical. If that happens, if you start hearing things that you just don't like, move to the hearing. Say you'd like to stipulate to the hearing then. Talk to a judge. In my situation, I'm looking for a resolution. I'm looking for an outcome without having to go to court, but that's up to her. That's whether or not she wants to find a resolution or continue fighting it. I had experience with estates. I knew how a fiduciary was supposed to act. I tried to help guide her and help her make good decisions for beneficiaries, but she didn't listen. And then when I started asking for accounting and records and trying to find out what she was doing, I was ignored. And if you had happen what I had happen, they're not going to want to put that before a judge and have a forensic audit. They're going to want to settle. And that's where you start negotiating a settlement. The most important part of this whole process is keeping emotions out of it, communicating very professionally, very calm. As soon as it gets emotional, you're out, you're sunk. Have AI review all responses to lawyers, to anybody. Have it check what you want to say, how you want to say it, every time. This is not something that should be taken lightly, and I do recommend you getting an attorney to help you if you have that ability. But if this is your last resort and you just want accountability, it can be done. And always make sure in every communication that you're keeping your right to bring an attorney on board at any time and change from a pro se to a represented case. If you want to reach out, I can guide you through the process. I can't give you legal advice, but I can advise you through the process of using AI to get this going. She's